Discussions in this show should not be construed as specific recommendations or investment advice. Always consult with your investment professional before making important investment decisions. And now, Financial Renaissance with the M's.
Good morning, financial knowledge seekers. Welcome to Sunday. My name is Emma Folks. I'm certified financial planner, managing partner at Greenwood Wealth Management, and I host this show, Financial Renaissance with the M's, and I'm welcoming you to our Sunday. That's right. You are watching us live on Facebook at Sensation Station Network, or you are tuning in at TuneIn, which is an app, and you can listen to us while you're on your way to brunch, on your way to church, or even on your way to work this morning. Wanted to welcome you all, and we've got an exciting show. First, I want to say thank you to Georgia Equality. Yesterday, Patrina and I attended an advocacy training, and one of the things that I want to say is that as a, there's a lot going on in the country with the impeachment trial, with things that we need from our legislators. And one of the things about advocacy training is it lets you know how to communicate with the legislators in a way that's respectable, and to get them, they gave us a couple of clues to get them to listen to us. So let's see if in the future we can get Georgia Equality on the show to discuss with us how we can become an effective advocate. Because when I look at my legislators' pages, I think some training is definitely in order. And then I also want to say thank you to the Women's Entrepreneurial Opportunity Project here in Atlanta. They call it WEOP. There was a breakfast networking presentation that they did this week that was excellent for business owners, female entrepreneurs, and they went over a plethora of subjects. They went over competitor analysis, industry calibration, how to give your company a financial checkup, and also how to use all those analytics that you find from Google Analytics that's on your website. It was absolutely amazing. So if you're a business owner, you definitely want to listen in today. We've got CocoCakes by CoCo. It's a trio of entrepreneurs that are going to talk to you about their struggles and their successes, things that they've done in their business. And then also coming up, no matter what age you are, okay, you're going to need to pay attention to this. On my Emma Knows Money Tips today, what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be breaking down the costs of Medicare during retirement after the age of 65 until the point where you're going to need caregiving or long-term care or assisted living or something like that. And I challenge you, I'd like to know what your opinion is. In retirement, before you need long-term care or go to a nursing home, how much money do you think you're going to spend collectively during retirement? I'd like to see what your answers are on that, so you can go ahead and drop those in the comment section, or you can even you can text it to us at 678-613-5857. All right, also coming up on the show today during my top 5 news stories of the week, I want you to find out what tweaks FICO is making to our credit scores this year. It's going to reward some of us, and it's also going to punish some of us, so you don't want to miss out on that. And then, as I said, we have guest baking entrepreneurs, CocoCakes by CoCo, and you definitely want to tune in. You want to check out their website because you are going to want to order a cake for Valentine's Day. Coming up on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll have my top 5 news stories.
Go to ssnatl.com and click on the Contact tab as much as you like. We're the nation's urban station. Online, ssnatl.com.
We are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. I am your host, Emma Folks, certified financial planner, owner of Greenwood Wealth Management, and host of Financial Renaissance with the M's. And you are listening to us live on ssnatl.com or sensationstationnetwork.com. And if you want to watch the show in all its full production value, go on to Facebook, do a search for Sensation Station Network. Go ahead and click on the little symbol, then hit like, and then you'll be able to see the show in all its beauty. Yes, if you want to comment on any of the things I'm going to be talking about, you can put your comments in the comment section, either on my live stream page or on the station's live stream on Facebook. And you can also text us at 678-613-5857. And someone wants to know, how do you find it on Facebook? Go to facebook.com/notdumbeddown. Okay. All right. So let me tell you, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm an introvert, right? They call me an extroverted introvert. And I saw a question in one of the groups this week is that how does someone who is an introvert either be an entrepreneur and how are they able to sell what their products or services and things like that? And I'm going to tell you one of the things that I did. One of the things that I did is I went out and I found a business coach. That's right, my business coach. And he is literally a coach. His name is Coach Lewis Preston. And he is a former NCAA Division I men's basketball head coach, and he's named one of the top 30 Christian leaders to follow in 2019. Now, my wife and I met Lewis at a networking breakfast for the Atlanta Dream way back in 2018, early 2018. And from the conversations, based on the conversations we were having, I knew that he would be able to help me, get to where I wanted to get to because he is a visionary and he's also a forward thinking. So if you want to reach out to Coach Lewis, you can reach him at lewis@coachpreston.com. That's his email address, or you can find him on IG and Twitter at Coach Lewis Preston. All right. So I brought up Medicare before the break. And I asked the question, what do you think you're going to spend during retirement on healthcare costs just using Medicare? And that's if you're healthy. And two questions that we always get from retirees, that I get from retirees or pre-retirees is, one is, hey, can you help me figure out how not to lose or how not to run out of money during retirement? And then the second question is, can I afford healthcare during retirement? And here's something that is absolutely baffling. Facts are 48% of pre-retirees think that they're going to spend less than $100,000 on healthcare costs in retirement. And I'm going to repeat that. Half of you that are ready to retire, say within the next 5 to 10 years, believe that you're going to spend less than $100,000 on healthcare during retirement. And that is so far off the mark. Okay. And you can go out there and you'll find information that'll tell you you'll spend about $100,000. I call that confirmation bias. That's kind of like when you have an idea or there's something you want to hold on true to, you go out on the internet and you find things that support exactly how you're feeling. Well, here's some of the facts. Okay. We're going to go way back to the 1960s. In the year 1960, healthcare costs were only 5% of our country's GDP. So we spent about $27 billion a year on healthcare costs. Now, let's fast forward to the year 2017, okay? Healthcare costs are let's call it 18% of the United States GDP. In 1960, it was 5%. In 2017, it was 18%. And we were spending about $3.5 trillion on healthcare. So back in 1960, the average cost of healthcare per year was about $146. Okay. 2017, that cost is about $10,000, almost $11,000 per year on healthcare during retirement. Okay, and that's if you're healthy. So that's just one of the things I want you to think about. Healthcare costs have risen faster than the rate of inflation and also what you're bringing in income. And when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, I'm going to have my top 5 news stories of the week.
Everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
Good morning. This segment of my top 5 financial news stories of the week is brought to you by Self Solstice LLC, providing mental wellness, healing, and living affirmatively with Dr. Jihan Abass, and you can set your appointment at 678-278-2002. All right, this has been a great week. So last week was a great week because Goldman Sachs threw down their watch, threw their keys on the table in an all-out ultimate corporate poker move. Okay, so we got to see if Goldman Sachs has a good poker face. Goldman Sachs is one of the largest underwriting banks in the country. And so what they do is they provide capital for companies that want to IPO or that want to become public. So when you look at companies like WeWork, Facebook, Twitter, all those companies that were startups that want to go public, they have to find a bank that's going to finance them, that are going to buy all their stock or most of it or all of it, and then take it out and sell it to us in the public realm. Well, the CEO of this investment bank, Goldman Sachs, is David Solomon, and he's a very influential person, and he has a very coveted job and also coveted power. But what he did last week was he used his power for good, and he rocked Davos. And again, Davos is the World Economic Forum that takes place in Switzerland, and that's when all of the world leaders, the top CEOs of the biggest global companies in the world all get together and they talk about the economic outlook for the year for our country and basically for the world. So during the talk, CEO Solomon started out with kind of a fact-based observation saying that, hey, for the past 5 years, the performance of public offerings, so initial companies that came out, public offerings of U.S. companies with at least one female director is significantly better than those without. And that is the mic drop or the gauntlet that happened, because then, like I said, he took his watch off, threw it on the table, pulled his keys out of his pocket, threw it on the table, and he said, Goldman Sachs will not, shan't, can't, and won't take companies public in the United States and Europe if they do not have at least one diverse board director on their board, and especially if they don't have any women. So the writing's been on the wall for quite a while. There's been a huge push for more diversity. Inequality is starting to tip and mess up the bottom lines of the banking industry and other industries, tipping them over like dominoes. So Solomon's demand is the latest move to push companies to increase the number of women and people of color in corporate boardrooms. So he went on to double down even more in saying starting in 2021 that the boards of companies that are looking to go public are going to have at least 2 diverse members. So how is this going to help you? If you are a minority, if you are a female, this is an opportunity for you. I know a lot of us out there are doing a lot of corporate board work or board work, but you may want to go out and get a real board training. United Way, there's other places, even some colleges have corporate training, things that you need to do to be on board so that you can eventually make your way to a corporate board and also get paid for it. So this is a great push. All right. So next coming up is when we come back on Financial Renaissance, I'll continue my top 5 stories throughout the show. But coming up, we have CocoCakes by CoCo. And we are going to be talking to 3 entrepreneurs about their roles that they play in their business, how they got their business started, the trials, the tribulations, the successes, and why they still do it day in and day out when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's.
Text us with your shout-outs and requests to 678-613-58557. Radio, knock them down.
Whether it's the weekend or a weekday, there's always something sensational happening on SSNATL.com. Watch out! Radio not dumbed down since day one.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. I am your host, Emma Folks, certified financial planner and owner of Greenwood Wealth Management. And I am hosting Financial Renaissance with the M's, and you are watching us live on Facebook at Sensation Station Network or facebook.com/notdumbdown. You can also listen to us on TuneIn, which is an app on your smartphone, iPad, or one of those thingies that you have where you swipe stuff. You can listen to us on TuneIn, or you can go to ssnatl.com or sensationstationnetwork.com. If you have comments, you can put them in the comment section on the station's Facebook page or also on my live stream Facebook page, or feel free to text us or call in at 678-613-5857. All right. I am so proud. I've been waiting for this day for almost a year now. We have with us CocoCakes by CoCo. We have Kina Morgan.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. We have Nicole McDonald. And we have Baker Extraordinaire Corey McDonald.
Great morning.
Good morning, and glad to have you all here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Kina or Nicole? I know you've been. Did you go to school together?
No. It's a crazy story.
How did you meet?
Very crazy. Like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's kind of like that because
Yes.
we actually are both from Kansas City, Missouri.
And you met here?
We met here
Oh,
through
wow.
my cousin Dawn, who hopefully will listen to this. Shout out to Dawn.
Okay.
But we met through her because she worked with Nicole in Kansas City.
Oh, wow.
And said, hey, my friend is moving down. She's changing companies. She's great. You need to introduce her to Atlanta.
And that she did.
And the rest has been history.
The rest
is
has been
history.
history.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was 2001.
That was in 2001. Okay. And back in 2000, so you met, and I know this that you have this company now, but I know that before this company, something else took place between the two of you from an entrepreneurial manner.
Yes.
Yes. I invented an educational children's toy for preschoolers.
Okay.
And it came with curriculum and jingles. And when I met Kina, she had an interest in doing the same type of work. Very creative. We co-wrote jingles and books for kids, and Goddard Academy, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, all took us in, and we took off.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So you did the children's books.
Yes.
And that went well.
Yeah.
And then what happened? What were you? Wait, hang on, Corey. What were you doing during all this?
I don't even think I was around.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I was reaching a milestone birthday.
Okay.
And I had heard so much about Cakes by CoCo.
Okay.
I had moved here in 2001, and on the radio I'd heard so much about this bakery. And so this milestone birthday was coming up for me, and so I looked them up. And it turns out, again, a crazy story, my best friend in Kansas City went to college with him. And I'm on the phone with her driving to this bakery I'd heard so much about. And she's like, I know exactly who you're going to meet. His name is Corey McDonald. He's been baking cakes since college. He went to my college. They went to Lincoln University together in Jefferson City. So I had her on the phone when I walked into the bakery and met him to talk about ordering my birthday cake.
For your significant milestone
For my
birthday.
milestone
For your
birthday
milestone
cake.
birthday.
And I met him, and
They got cake and love.
Right.
yeah, we got
right.
cake and love.
Having your cake and eating it too.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Literally.
That is a great story. That is a great story.
Yeah.
So how did you and Kina decide to go from, doing things with a children's educational theme to working with Corey?
Well, I fell in love. And the recession the recession hit our program, and we lost a lot of funding. And by that time, she throws a lot of social gatherings, and I had brought the cake, and she had been a customer, and she herself had heard about Cakes by CoCo. And so she tasted it, we talked, and we decided to put our resources and efforts behind this man.
Okay, I want you to listen to this. So again, if you have friends, if the people that you're hanging out with can't help you move up in life, you may need to think about, or if seriously speaking, if you're sitting around and all you're talking about is gossip or what's happening in pop culture, but you're not talking about ways of improving your net worth or helping out a friend that you see that has a good thing going, but maybe needs a little bit of financing behind them. That's what we're talking about right here in the studio. We're talking about venture capital. We're talking about, believing in a dream, believing in people, and helping to catapult someone and a company to the next level. Does that sum it up?
And that's what it is.
That's
It's
exactly
it's
what
about kind of homegrown community support for building a business. And CoCo had been in business for a while in Atlanta, so this
was doing well. But without you, was doing well without you.
Right.
Let's make that very clear.
Right.
So he wasn't struggling.
And it was about rebranding. It was about saying, how can we take this to the next level, and how can we really pull all of our talents together? Because Nicole and I don't bake.
Well, I was going to say, I know you don't bake, right? So what is your background, Kina?
So I am accountant by trade, CPA by trade. Went to Florida A&M University. Very proud of that. And so I've come up through the accounting and finance world in Atlanta for the last 20 years.
So you're good with numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
So numbers is
so you're good with numbers.
Yes.
So you can look and do projections and tell when it's time to expand, tell when it's time to slow things down, tell when it's time to be able to start shipping, things of that nature.
Yes.
Is that your expertise?
I am the realist in the group.
Okay. So again, in your group of friends that you have, there has to be some yin and yang. You have to have those creatives. You have to have those visionaries, and then you have to have the people that will knock the wind out of your sails or act as the parachute and pull you back down to the earth and make sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do right. Those are the types of people, when you're building your team, when you're building your advisory board for your company, or the people that you're looking at that can possibly help you build, there has to be people that have specific, what would we say, specific talents, skill sets, expertise in certain areas that it's going to help make your business successful. All right, Nicole, so what was your background?
Well, when I walked into the bakery at that time, I was working for and supporting an Emory University professor.
Okay.
And he is also an entrepreneur. So for him and his 7 companies, I was the general admin.
Oh my gosh.
I was light bookkeeper. I was payroll. I was HR. I was all of that for him. So my background was business, or is business administration and management.
So like, okay, so more like an office manager, like keeping it
Absolutely.
all together. All right. Again, pay attention to, again, skill sets. And college degrees are important, but there are some people that actually have, I guess it would be street smarts, or based on what they get on the job. When we come back, we're going to talk about Corey's background, and we're going to talk more about what you can buy when you go to their website on CocoCakes by CoCo.
Yes.
We are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. I'm your host, Emma Folks, and I want to thank you for watching us on Sensation Station Network on Facebook, and also listening to us on the TuneIn app on Sensation Station Network as well. You can go ahead and put your comments. If you have any comments for our guest today, or any questions for our guest today about entrepreneurship, the things that they did, how did they know to trust each other, things like that, you can go ahead and drop that in our comment section, or you can even text us at 678-613-5857. And I'd like to say good morning and thank you for watching to the following groups on Facebook: Urban Entrepreneurs and also Women's Veterans Alliance. Thank you for watching us this morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, sir, Baker extraordinaire Corey McDonald. So tell us a little bit about your background.
So I am from St. Louis, and I grew up eating, I guess, what I would call perfect cakes.
Wow, right. Perfect cake.
Perfect cakes.
From your mom?
My mother, my grandmother, and my older brother. Yes, ma'am.
So a baking family.
A baking family.
So did they sell at? So I'm gonna go old school black salespeople. Did they sell at beauty parlors?
No.
Whoa, so they were legit.
They were legit.
Oh, so a baking storefront?
A baking storefront.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you at home, that is an entrepreneur. If you have children, be aware they're paying attention to everything that you're doing, and they too may end up an extraordinary baker extraordinaire. So were you baking? Did you bake your way through college?
The end of college,
okay.
I started baking. I did start baking to graduate, as a matter of fact. I was on a football scholarship. It ended, and I started baking cakes, and that is literally how I made it through college.
Right. So a lot of people do stuff to get through school, right? And so some of them are unsavory, right? Some of us know people that pick up and that's why everybody's laughing, because everyone knows someone who, when we were in college, was doing something they had no business doing, and their parents would have been mortified by it, but they were trying to make some money. So there are other ways of making money when you're in college. You can bake, you can cook, you can cut hair, you can do hair, etc., etc. So
it was actually a bad choice that led to cake baking for me. Ooh. So you're correct.
Boom, what I tell you. What I tell you. Emma knows money. I understand. Emma understands the hustle, okay? Get it straight. I do understand the hustle. So what type of products, if we go on your website, I went on your website, so I can't even say what are we going to see. I know what I saw, and I'm hungry now, and I should have ordered something last night.
We got something for you. Surprise.
Every morning for a year, I've been asking for someone to bring me something to eat, and nobody has.
Oh, you did. You got
Hey,
it.
you brought the right people in today.
Yes.
All right. Make sure you go to their website. What's the website?
CocoCakesByCoco.com.
And what are they going to see?
That buttery caramel. That's our best seller. It has been for 23 years now.
23 years. Buttery caramel.
That's the first thing you're going to see when you go to the website. World's Finest German Chocolate is another icing that he's been making for about 22, 23 years. Juicy Lemon Pound.
That's my boyfriend's favorite.
Yeah.
You will see a host of cakes that is difficult to find.
Yes, and the level of detail. I was looking. There's a picture of the Michael Jackson Off the Wall
Yeah.
album,
that,
and I
huh?
saw that, and I looked for a second. I was like, oh wow, I think I could rock with that because everyone's doing those. I call them Sweet 16 cakes now with the flat. Yeah. That's all cool, but I feel like it's a fad that's going to go away. So I still like artistry.
Yeah.
I still like to see details on cakes, and I'm not into all the fancy new age stuff
fondant that
because I don't want to.
doesn't
I don't want to
taste
cut those.
Yeah.
Like I want to look at a cake that's beautiful and just
Eat it.
And it's delicious.
and eat it and make it delicious. So
Yes.
A cocoa cake gives you an experience that most cakes just aren't able to.
explain that, sir.
So
Explain that.
most people
Explain
talk
that.
about how good a cake tastes. Well, we try to provide more of an experience or a feeling.
Oh, I am a food Kina can tell you. I love tea. As a matter of fact, we share our top 10 burgers, places in the city. Like what we talk about are top 10 places
Yes.
to eat
Where
in
can
the
you
city.
eat?
So
Yes.
I'm all about food. I'm all about the food. So when I looked on the website, I saw, a number of stuff. And when we come back, I want to talk about shipping. I want to talk about also preservation of the cakes because I'm the type, I don't eat a lot of sweets. So I may buy a cake, but I'm only going to eat a slice and then I want to put it away and then come back to it about a month later. So when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, all of our questions for CocoCakes by Coco.
Our listeners, all in 2020 vision. Now you see it.
I see it.
Radio that's not dumbed down.
Back with Financial Renaissance with the M's, and we are here with CocoCakes by Coco. We have Kina Morgan, Nicole McDonald, and Corey McDonald, who paid his last way through college by baking cakes, and you were able to graduate. All right.
True
So
story.
tell
As
us,
a matter of fact, the cake helped me graduate.
the cake helped you graduate.
it did.
All right. So tell us what we're looking at here.
That one there is what we call a strawberry whipped cream dream. And that's a butter cake like no other cake with fresh soaked strawberries. Some people would say macerated, I think they call it.
Wow.
And so it's split with that, some other whipped cream. It's a non-dairy heavy whipped topping that
Oh
we
my
make
gosh.
in-house.
So people that are lactose
Yes,
intolerant
it's
can
very
enjoy it as well.
User-friendly for
User-friendly?
the lactose intolerant.
All right. What do we have here?
And those around them.
Right.
Most
And so
importantly.
that one there is what we call the buttery caramel cake.
So
I'm
is-
from St.
no.
Louis. I say caramel, not caramel.
This is
That is the number one
This is the number
seller.
one seller for
Yes.
23 years. This has been the number. So this is the cake that your grandmother and your mother and your brother made, or
Well,
is this your?
Actually, I got that recipe from my grandmother and two other older women.
Okay.
Right. Well, they gave 3 different ones.
But
and
you
that
made it your own.
culminated into
Yeah,
that
you made
one.
it your own. Yeah, that's what bakers do. You
Yeah.
got to
Right,
tweak
right,
it.
right,
You have to
right.
tweak it a
So
little
I'm
bit
saying
with your
literally
sauce on it.
probably for about 26 years, I've made that 2 to 3 times every week.
All right, and what do we have here?
That is a double chocolatey. It kind of got
I
bounced
dropped
around.
this one.
favorite.
Yeah, I dropped this one.
Yeah, that's Kina's favorite. So that's a very it's a chocolate cake with great flavor. It kind of breaks down like cotton candy or pudding or something. You
Oh
know,
my
it's-
goodness.
And
Yeah,
what's
you-
key is that it is a chocolate cake that will not dry out. So those chocolate cake lovers, this is one that
Yes.
will not dry out.
Okay.
That's what sold me on it.
Yeah,
All right.
that you don't need to chew it all.
You don't need the
At all.
just let it melt in your
tongue
dissolve in your mouth.
exercises,
All right, what do we have right here?
So that is the juicy lemon pound, and you have to be very careful with that because that cake will
Is this the type of cake that you'll eat the whole thing?
it's
Okay.
a juicy cake.
It explodes.
This is an experience.
Explodes.
It explodes. Wow,
Yeah,
an
it
explosion of
explodes in your
flavor.
mouth,
Is this
yeah.
lemony
Fresh
and the
lemon
zest,
juice.
and so you just feel all right. And then what's this one that we have here?
That is the world's finest German chocolate cake.
Oh, is
That
this your
cake-
favorite, or was this one?
Double chocolate.
Okay,
But
so
that
the
one
German
also,
chocolate-
I normally didn't even eat German chocolate cake before until I tasted that.
Oh wow, I'm gonna have to try it. I'm like you.
Absolutely delicious.
All right, how did you make that one?
That one I've been cooking actually longer than the caramel. That was the first one my mother taught me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, and then
it's great. I'm telling you, it's as perfect as you can get with the German chocolate cake, and I guarantee that.
oh, I
Putting
love
it up against
guarantees.
anybody.
I love guarantees when it comes to food. And what's the last one that we have
That one
here?
is a strawberry buttercream. It's a strawberry cake with our in-house better buttercream icing.
Better buttercream. Make it more better. Make it more better. All right. I am going to try during the next break. I'm going to try this one.
All right.
All right. This one or
Strawberry
no?
whipped cream dream.
Wait, which one has
You
the?
have to try the
You have to try the
I have to
caramel
try.
cake.
I'll try the
Yeah,
caramel
we do
cake.
the and thing with CocoCakes.
And. So
you
a
know.
sampler. Can we order a sampler offline? Do you have a sampler of cake chunks?
Not quite.
Not quite.
You can just buy multiple ones.
Yeah, Mo,
Yes.
that's our sampler.
All right. When we come, so during the break, I will try a few of these. Let's see if I can do it successful, and then we'll talk to them a little bit more about being entrepreneurs and some of the trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur. And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's, and we are here with CocoCakes by CoCo. And I have to tell you, I just had two cakes. I had the caramel with the buttery caramel, and
Strawberry
true to and the strawberry with cream. And true to what they said, you don't chew it. You just put it in your mouth and you just let your body do what it's going to do, but it will dissolve and it will slide down your throat. It is absolutely delicious. And I didn't even have a fork. I had to use chopsticks. I had to use two straws as chopsticks to try to get at it because, nobody feeds me. But this will be the last time I don't have at least a Swiss Army knife or with a fork or something like camping. I got to do something.
Right.
So I want to thank you for even thinking to bring stuff for us. We really appreciate that.
Our pleasure.
So let's talk about entrepreneurship. A lot of the people that listen to this show work for themselves or they're in corporate America and they may be in a position where they may want to fund someone or help someone develop a company that they already have. Can you talk to us a little bit about just being entrepreneurs, the trials and tribulations, because there's so many people that think, I can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No lie, it is a challenge, right? And you have to make sure that it's something you believe in, and because when it gets tough, that's what you have to fall back on, is your belief in that this is a product that there's a customer out there for.
Right.
And that's key. I mean, I guess being the money person, they know I'm always like, what is there a profit in that? Is there a proposition in that? But that's the part that you have to get to the root of, because it has to be something you believe in. Even if you're someone who's investing and don't have the talent and you're trying to build that partnership, you need to build that partnership with people who are really ready to give it all to it.
That is such a great point.
And that's what's so key.
That is such a great point.
Entrepreneurship is exhilarating. It's exciting. I was just sharing with the two of them about 2 weeks ago, reminding them of a conversation that the three of us had 7 years ago. And today, when we leave here and drive to Tucker and turn the key and open in that door and open up from 12 to 6 today, we are literally living what we talked about 7 years ago. So it does come with many trials and tribulations, and it's a non-stop machine. However, when God gives you those glimpses of faith reminders that what you talked about and what you agreed upon 7 years ago, you're living it now, that's what keeps us going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kina and I were friends first. We developed a friendship over food.
She was always a cake lover.
I was a cake lover before even meeting him.
Oh, that's perfect.
Like,
Yeah.
I would have a whole cake on the counter, and Kina would be like, whose birthday is it?
The
And I'd be like,
first time
nobody's.
I've ever seen anyone buy a birthday cake and it
For
was
themselves,
no
for no
birthday.
birthday.
Yeah, no reason. I just loved cake. So
cake
meeting him, I mean, it was definitely a divine marriage of skills, talents,
Yeah.
and passion.
Yeah.
You have to have that. That's what keeps you going, because you will lose sleep.
And you have to be
You would.
solid in your friendships. You have to be
Yes,
solid in your
absolutely.
relationships,
Yes.
because being in entrepreneurship, if you're in any type of partnership, it is like a marriage.
It
It is
is.
so
It is.
easy to get into it. And then when you have that first argument, what happens? You know, do things fall apart? Does everybody run their separate ways and then bring in other people to chime in? No, you have to be settled as a unit and to, take care of any arguments and disagreements within the three of you.
Yeah.
And
we work
honesty.
well.
And honesty.
Yeah, we work well
You
together.
have to be honest with each other. Because every idea that each one of us have, maybe it'll be a good one, maybe it won't be a good one.
Right.
And you have to, if you're not honest with each other, and it's gonna corrupt the relationship.
And on the other side of the honesty, though, is being open to feedback.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
'Cause you
absolutely.
can be honest, but
Absolutely. The other side's got to receive it.
yes,
Right.
yes.
I'm such a creative person myself, and even with our previous endeavor, Kina was good at getting me to focus on, come back down to earth a little bit, and let's do this in a strategic manner, because I tend to think and plan and dream broadly.
Right.
And I understand that it takes time and rollouts. So she's dealing with two creative.
And that's a very, and I'm going to say I
And-
commend her because it's like herding cats. It's very difficult to keep people who are creative. And no, I only say that because I'm like that. And Trina has to do the same thing. It's like, no. We said we were going to do this.
Right.
Yes, we
Right.
want to do X, Y, and Z, but let's do this and focus on just this
Right.
first.
Right.
It's a difficult thing to do for people who are visionary
It is.
and have their heads in the clouds all the time.
But
Yeah.
you need
And then I
those
do
dreamers.
that.
You
Yes.
need, but you need the dream to be there and people to believe in the dream. And then you can come in and say, okay, tactically we can get there.
Right.
Yes.
We just got to take a breath.
And Corey, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, as a team, we typically try to, like, if we have a disagreement, and we have them, what ultimately wins is what's best for the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we don't really
Yeah,
get
it's
stuck
not about
on what
the
I
egos
personally
or
feel
anything
whatever
like
it is.
that.
Whatever's best for the company is typically what we do.
All right. So listen, when we come back, I'll be doing the ending of my top 5 news stories, but I would like you to be able to tell people how to reach your website and things like that when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's.
Yeah. Yeah.
One listener at a time. It's SSNATL.com. Radio that's not dumbed down.
And we are back on Financial Renaissance with the M's. I'm your host, Emma Folks, and we are going to get back into my top 5 news stories of the week. The first story that I gave a couple segments ago was about Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is one of the biggest investment bankers in the United States of America, and they have decided that they will not underwrite any new companies that are trying to IPO this year in 2020 unless they have at least one diverse board member. And starting in 2021, it will have to be at least 2 diverse board members in order to get underwritten by Goldman Sachs. Now, second story is going to be about FICO. That's right. FICO is changing the way that they rate our credit scores, okay? So there's new versions of FICO coming out this year. It's going to be FICO 10 and FICO 10T. So something that I didn't know about FICO was that they have other versions. They had a version called FICO 8, which was released in 2009. FICO 9, which came out in 2014, but most lenders are still using the 2009 version of FICO 8, it is. So when you're trying to borrow money from a lender, you want to ask them which version of FICO they're using, okay? So what the new FICO 10 is going to do, they're going to make a bigger gap, unfortunately, between consumers with good credit and those with poor credit, but they are going to reward people who have had bad credit that are doing the things that they need to do to get out of credit and that they don't put themselves back into a worse hole. The other thing that they're going to do with FICO 10, a lower credit score is not going to prevent you from getting an affordable loan. So they're not going to ding you for that. And also another thing that they're going to look at doing is your rent payments, and that was with FICO 9. Hang on one second. So FICO 10, they're not going to prevent you from getting an affordable loan, and they're also going to not look at medical things that you have on your credit from medical expenses and things like that. That's not going to be charged as high. So you're going to want to go to the FICO website and take a look at that and see where you're going to stand. So you have this year to get your credit right, because if it's good, they're going to make it better, and if it's bad, they're going to make you suffer. All right, number 3, Tesla. Tesla has overtaken. Can I get a round of applause for Tesla? Tesla, yes. The electronic car company has overtaken Germany's Volkswagen as the second most valuable car maker behind Japan's Toyota. That's right. So congratulations to all the Tesla owners out there. But Wall Street is not feeling Tesla. BNP Paribas, UBS, and Morgan Stanley have all downgraded the Tesla stock, ticker symbol TSLA, this past Thursday. They feel that they're trading for more than 80 times their estimated earnings, so the streets are not feeling them. And then coming up, the other story we have is there's a 26-year-old Kenyan. Her name is Jihan Abass, and she set up the country's first digital car insurance company. Abass is the co-founder and CEO, or the founder and CEO of Griffin Insurance, which released its flagship mobile app on Friday. And this app is going to be Kenya's first digital-only car insurance company. So customers are going to be able to make their payments in installments, and if they're traveling abroad, they can actually pause their insurance. And one of the things that they're claiming is they're going to be able to process claims in a week rather than the industry standard of 30 days. Again, if you have a child that is good with making apps, help them with this stuff, okay? Because there's a lot of money to be made. And Abass, again, she's 26 years old. She has a 14-person team. They have another company called Lamy, and they sell they have a technology platform that they lend out to other people so that they can build other digital products, insurance products, things like that. So you may want to team up with them if you've got a great idea about insurance. All right, last story we have, and this one is important. This is about the one percenters, okay? The one percenters have a 123-member club, which includes Abigail Disney. And I want you to remember her name because she's going to come up again later on when I talk about Disney. They've named themselves this club. They've named themselves the Patriotic Millionaire Club, okay? And at Davos this week, this group of patriotic millionaires sternly warned that inequality is a global problem. They are also demanding that the top 1% of the world pay their higher fair share of taxes before it is too late. Oxfam, which is a global charity group that's focused on ending poverty, they said that the world has 2,000 billionaires, and these 2,000 billionaires have more money than 60% of the world's population. So the patriotic millionaires, they want America's companies to focus on, destabilizing income inequality. They also want to make sure that people aren't relying on philanthropy to take care of the poor people. They're looking at people, if you're charitably inclined and you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Jewish person of whatever your religion is, you're supposed to give back, and that's great. And we do look at billionaires and millionaires to give back, but they can't solve all of the problems. So what they're thinking is that Americans and people around the world need to pay their fair share of taxes. More than 80% of Americans are okay with paying their fair of taxes if they feel everybody else is. And by the top 1% not paying their fair share, they are destabilizing our global economy, and there is going to be a nasty impact. So what you need to do is think about a company that you may be thinking about starting that's going to deal with income equality. And also, if you're looking at running for office and you're a big proponent of solving the global economic inequality crisis, you may want to contact this group and see if they will look at funding your campaign. All right, when we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll have CocoCakes by CoCo, and they'll tell us how to get in touch with them when we come back. We are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. Hey, coming up on my Movers and Losers, I will be talking about the coronavirus and what you need to do to protect your pockets and your business. And then also we'll be talking about corporate America's CEO pay and some changes that have come along with that. You're watching me, Emma Folks, certified financial planner by day. And on nights and weekends, I am actually a defender of the middle class, the bottom 99% of our country. And you are watching us live on Sensation Station Network on Facebook. And you can also listen to us on TuneIn at Sensation Station Network. If you have questions or comments, you can text us at 678-613-5857. But we are finishing up. They're going to leave us. They have to go open the shop.
Yes.
CocoCakes. You say the name. I like how you say it because, I'm CocoCakes by CoCo. Who's Coco?
That's me.
That's your nickname?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Doesn't he look like the bear?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to be like that bear looks like you because I'm trying to disrespect. Like you look like
you say that
You look like a cartoon. It's a really nice sweatshirt. So yeah, so tell us if people want to reach out. I know you do all, and literally they do any type of cake that you can imagine. They'll be able. Well, I don't know if you're doing like they do some real crazy stuff with cakes, but most of the stuff that you can imagine with cakes, you'll be able to do. From what I saw on the website, you've got videos, you've got pictures.
Yes.
They do stuff for celebrities.
Yes.
They do it all. So Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yes.
And
Valentine's Day, Super Bowl. So
Oh,
if you,
Super Bowl.
which is-
Yeah,
and
we're
it's
from
Kansas City
Kansas City,
Chiefs.
so
So we are
got
super
it.
excited.
Yeah.
So if you need, you
If you
need
need your
cake for
Kansas
Sunday.
City, you
know
need the
need
Kansas
it.
City cake.
So
There's a
go
lot of people
online
from
today and order. It is www.CocoCakes.com. And you can go there and you can order, you can see all the cakes. You can order whole cakes. If you want to come in and do like a table with different chunks, go ahead and do your order online and we'll have them all ready for you to pick up on Super Bowl Sunday morning at noon when we open, and then you'll be good to go. So,
And now, if people, like, let's say there's a wedding that's coming up, you don't do walk-ins, correct? So you want people to call in and make an appointment?
Yes, you need to call in, and we do consultations on weddings and
Thursdays.
things like that on Thursday afternoon, and you can schedule those online as well.
Okay, and what is your, well, one question about freezing cakes. Let's talk about that, because I know not all cakes, once they're made, you can't take it and put it in the freezer and expect to eat it again, right? So with your cakes, I've been told that I can freeze your cakes and then turn around and eat them, right? That is acceptable?
This cake has a very high artisanal value. I mean, like it's mixed well. Everything about this cake is done very well. So when you freeze it, it's not a lot of air. It's not a lot of things that could kind of break it down.
So the air pockets get the little ice
Well,
crystals
we
in
don't
them.
have air pockets. That's
Oh.
the thing. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't.
We don't do that.
We don't do that.
we don't do
I think I just offended Coco. We don't
But
do
that's why
air
they
pockets in our
freeze
cakes.
so well, though.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. And what about the Instagrams and Twitters and Facebooks? How do people follow you?
You can follow us at CocoCakes by Coco on all mediums, and we're located in Tucker, Georgia at 4404 Hugh Howell Road, number 26.
And they don't have to be in Georgia,
No,
No, they
right?
do
So
not.
what is something new? Because we've been waiting
So,
for this.
yes. So we are pleased to announce we are shipping nationwide via our partner FedEx. And we do 2-day shipping, and it comes frozen, and we've figured out with them how to properly send it to you. You can either bring it right out. It comes in a lovely tin that you can reuse.
Okay.
That's got the bear on the front.
Oh, right.
And you can set it out. You can flip it over and use it as a cake stand for your party. Flip it back over and put all of your little goodies in it that you want to keep.
Well, here's what I'm
going
going to do. I'm going to give away a small Valentine's Day cake. That can be shipped. So we have people all over the country that listen to the show. It's not
Yes.
just Atlanta. So if you are interested in having a cake, go ahead and say, I want one. I want a Valentine's Day cake. And what I'm going to do is give them the names. If you want a cake, small Valentine's cake, because it should just be you and one person. But kids have thruples now. So for you, up to 3 people can eat the cake. That's the type that I'm looking at buying. And if you just put in the comment section, hey, I want that cake, I will give them the names. I'll put it in a jar, let them do a drawing and pick the name, and then we'll reach out to you and let you know how to get your cake from CocoCakes by Coco. How does that
that
sound?
is
Is that
awesome.
awesome?
Thank
All right, because
you.
I have to. This was a lot.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. So I have to give back because you gave me I can have a
You can
party.
freeze it and
Yes,
you're good.
I am. I'm cutting them in half. She can have a bite. I'm cutting them in half, and then I'm putting all the rest in the freezer, and I'll eat that throughout the for the next couple of months. So I want to thank you all for being here today, for waking up early and laughing, having a sense of humor with us this morning. Really, really appreciate that, and would love to have you come back if there's ever anything that you're doing. And actually, there is something that we're going to be talking about for my business, Greenwood Wealth Management. One of the things that we're going to be doing for one of the holidays is a cake giveaway for my clients.
Okay,
so I
great.
want to get with you and talk to you about how we can facilitate that, make sure we can have stuff delivered to my office and distribute it to my clients as well. So
Pleasure.
forgot to tell you about that.
Yeah,
so
no,
thank you
absolutely.
for that. So
Thank
again,
you.
go to CocoCakes.com and order your cake. And again, if you want a small Valentine's cake, put "I want a cake" in the comment section. Oh, I see them coming now. Hey, I want a cake. All right. All right.
Won't regret it. Thank
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. Hey, we are kicking off my movers and losers. That's right. The markets have been squealing like a pig, like the movie Deliverance. That's right. Mainland China markets are closed until this coming Friday. It's actually an observance of their Lunar New Year, which is the pig, year of the pig. So bring in the pigs. So will the market reward us or will it make us squeal like the pig? The global loser is the coronavirus. Wall Street tumbled Thursday amid fears that efforts to curtail this lethal virus in China could disrupt the global economy. All right. China has locked down over 11 million people in one city. Now, a couple things you need to think about with China. China is one of the most populous countries in the world, number one. Number two, they have a growing middle class like we used to 20 years ago. And what do growing middle class people do? They travel. So the coronavirus is going to end up all over the world. There's no way around it because the people are already here and everywhere. So you as a business owner need to make sure that your team doesn't get wiped out from this. And you as an employee need to make sure that you don't get wiped out from this virus. So make sure that you have masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, Lysol, and that you're wiping down every surface. And then most importantly, that you're washing your hands when you come out of the bathroom, okay? It is very important because we can all lose a lot of money because of the coronavirus. All right, Disney CEO Bob Iger is killing it. And when I say killing it, in 2019, Disney's film studios boasted the highest grossing year in box office history. But executive compensation has been a flashpoint across the U.S., but especially at Disney. Now, remember I mentioned Abigail Disney and said, remember her? Well, even though Bob Iger had the best year of all, his pay got adjusted. And as a matter of fact, last year, his compensation was down 28% in 2019 over 2018. But don't feel too sorry for him because he received about $48 million. You want to remember that number too. But again, just this week, Abigail Disney, the granddaughter of Roy Disney, testified in support of a California bill that's going to impose additional taxes on companies doing business in the state that have excessive levels of executive pay compared with the everyday employees. So this is going to be a big deal. Now, Wells Fargo, former Wells Fargo CEO, has been barred for life from banking. Okay, and on previous episodes, I mentioned that that Wells Fargo had done a lot of stuff. They paid a lot of money to the government because of a lot of nefarious things they did. And you can just Google Wells Fargo and you'll see what they did. But yeah, the fish, they usually say, stinks from the head. So Wells Fargo is another one of our losers. And then JP Morgan Chase, they are one of our market movers. CEO Jamie Dimon got a 1.6% raise in 2019. So he's making about $31.5 million. And another loser that we have on the streets are three former owners of Russia's National Bank Trust. They were ordered by a court in London to pay $900 million back for siphoning money and contributing to the bank's actual collapse. All right. So for my recession watch, a couple things you need to know about. The Federal Reserve is infusing more money into our economy. They put $52.6 billion into our economy, but they don't really want to call it quantitative easing yet. Wink, wink. Banks are also racing to sell the first post-Great Recession CDOs, collateralized debt obligations. Those are the things that blew up our economy in 2008. Well, they have a new version of them and they're racing to sell these. So let's see how that plays out. Maybe it'll do as well as it did the last time. And then right now, there is on our books, our country's books, there's $1.2 trillion of junk rated bonds that are coming due. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. I see signs. I feel like we're on thin ice. Our economy economy is standing on thin ice right now. So be very careful. Make sure you do the things that we've been talking about on the show. Save your money. Make sure you've got cash on hand. Make sure you're paying down your debts, okay? And make sure that you are working on your credit score. When we come back on Financial Renaissance with the M's, we'll have my Emma Knows Money Medicare healthcare tips. With Financial Renaissance with the M's. This segment of Emma Knows Money is brought to you by my very own Greenwood Wealth Management, making Wall Street work better for you, harder for you. All right, we were talking about Medicare and the cost of Medicare during retirement, and I brought up the fact that 48% of pre-retirees think that they're going to spend less than $100,000 in retirement before they end up in a nursing home, and I call that confirmation bias, meaning it's not happening. The matter is 200% of more drugs were consumed in 2001 than it was in the year 2000. Think about that. In 1 year, 200-fold on the amount of prescription drugs that people are taking. For a 65-year-old couple, the amount retirement between the ages of 65 and when you need to go into a nursing home, you are going to spend about $285,000. Now, that is based on actuarial tables, meaning that you're only going to live, if you're a man, from 65 to 85, so that's 20 years, or if you're a woman, 27 years. But what happens if you end up living to age 100? Okay, that's going to be a lot more money. So just think about that. And then along with retirement, you've got your Medicare Part A, which is for hospital insurance, your Part B, which is just regular medical insurance. You've got your Part C, which are the different Medicare Advantage plans. And then you have Part D, which is the prescription ones. Now, if you're a young person, you need to learn Part D because you're going to have to help your elders with Part D because it is very confusing. And then, of course, there is also Medigap insurance. All right. So one of the other things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to Medicare in retirement is that if you are healthy, everything is fine. But if you need to go to the emergency room, keep in mind, emergency rooms are charging up to 12 times more than Medicare pays for the services that they're providing. Okay, so that's a lot of money if you are not healthy. Now, over the last decade, out-of-pocket spending for healthcare has increased 67%. Okay, in the last 10 years, our costs, what you're going to pay for Medicare expenses, out-of-pocket expenses, is going to be 67%, and that is just in the form of higher copays and also higher deductibles. And then, here's another thing for you to think about. I mentioned prescription drugs and Part D and how confusing that was. Think about this for a second. 4 years, from 2014 to 2018, prescription name drugs, okay, not the generics, the brand name prescription drugs increased. The prices of those have increased by 60%, okay? That is huge. So again, if you are thinking about retirement and you're looking at healthcare and things like that, why don't you give Greenwood Wealth Management a call at 404-633-9952. And what we'll look at doing is coming up with a healthcare plan, a personal healthcare plan for you and your spouse, or for you, so that you understand the costs associated with Medicare way before you retire. And those are my Emma Knows Money tips brought to you by Greenwood Wealth Management.
Write your history.
And we are back with Financial Renaissance with the M's. I am your host, Emma Folks, and what a great show we had today. A lot of stuff for you to think about. You're definitely going to have to rewatch the show. What we are going to be doing starting next month, we'll be replaying the previous week's shows during a watch party at 5 p.m. But if you are interested in listening to the show or you need to share it, you can just share it with people, or you can also go on my YouTube page at Emma Knows Money. Or you can look for me. We turn the show into a podcast, and wherever you subscribe for your podcast, Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeart, whatever. But the Financial Renaissance Show is there. So if you find this show, go ahead and like it, subscribe to the podcast, and also share it with people that need to know this information. During the week, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at Financial Ren, R-E-N, or at Emma Knows Money, and on Facebook and Instagram, Emma Knows Money, and also Financial Renaissance. And make sure if you go to my YouTube page, please subscribe. I need more subscribers. It's just my mom and dad and bonus dad and cryo dad, and I need a couple more subscribers there. Hey, listen, so on the show today we talked about what was happening in Davos, which is the World Economic event that they have in Switzerland. And what came out of Davos was Goldman Sachs, the world's #1 investment bank, will not take a company public, will not IPO your company if you do not have at least one diverse board member. And starting next year, 2021, you will have to have at least 2 diverse board members if you're looking at going public. Also, something that you need to think about and look into for yourself this week is the FICO score change. FICO is adding FICO 10 and FICO 10T, which will reward people who are doing the good things for their credit and will actually punish you if you do things to clean up your credit, like switch to try to consolidate your credit with a personal loan, and then you run up all your credit cards again. You're really going to get dinged for that. So again, in 2020, you need to be paying down your debt, fixing your credit score if it's not good, and if it is good, make it better, because excellent credit means that you have a lower interest rate, and in most cases, you may not even have to come out of pocket with a down payment. That is incredible. And I want to thank our guests, CocoCakes by CoCo.com. Okay, please go to their website, and if you, like I said, if you're interested in receiving a Valentine's Day cake on me, just put in the comment section, I want a Valentine's Day cake, or I want that cake, and they'll do a drawing, and whoever they pick, we will ship that cake to you if you are not local in the Atlanta area. All right, so coming up after my show is Smooth Sensation Sundays, and then the live exchange with Dr. Pamela at 6 p.m. tonight. And then tomorrow, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Cheryl Underwood is right here on Sensation Station Network from noon till 2 o'clock, and then you can finish watching her on The View on your local CBS affiliate. All right, my mantra of today is Shanti which means I invoke peace, peaceful thoughts, which means I invoke peace. So that Shanti means I invoke peace. And the thoughts that I want you to build upon this week are: our emotions are our most intimate ally. Okay, our emotions have a huge influence on every single choice that we make. And it is vital to your success that you train your emotions to be reliable and a trusted ally if you want your emotions to support your success. So we will see you right here next Sunday at 10 a.m. It's our first anniversary show, Super Bowl Sunday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for the love. Namaste.
Creyeron que murió, pero renacerá.
Cash, scratch, green.